Welcome to another meeting of the Lorain County Commissioners, broadcast exclusively on your Lorain County Community College education station. The Lorain County Commissioners cordially invite you to see the meetings live and in person every Thursday morning. The meetings are located in the Lorain County Administration Building, located at 226 Middle Avenue in downtown Elyria. The meetings start at 9:30 a.m. on most weeks. Now, enjoy the meeting.
If we could please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone. Sometimes, I have a quote for today, but, well, I'm going to use it anyway. Vote for the person who promises the least. They'll be the least disappointing. So anyway, sometimes I was thought, but maybe pictures could say it better. So, Hal, do you mind kind of taking a look around the room here to our left? My left. If you take a look, some people think Elvis Presley's dead, but he just kind of hooked up with somebody else. All right. So you can see. Thank you very much. So we don't usually get to embarrass our fine assistants, but happy Halloween, everybody. Today is, I think, our stoner over here said this is the first time, I think, that we've ever had Halloween on a meeting day?
That we've taped it.
Oh, and that we taped it?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, well, right.
Yes, I did already.
Oh, she already did.
Are you sure?
Roxanne and I were talking. She only has, 5-6 more months till she's ready to retire. So what you did is go back in your old closet and found that.
I did. I did.
Mr. Chairman, we had a CIC meeting earlier,
okay.
and the county treasurer was here, and I walked in, and he says, "Oh, here comes someone dressed up like a county commissioner."
Ooh, ouch.
Isn't that kind
Ouch. Okay, well, it looks like it better get serious, so. What, John? Oh, you do got to compliment John. The guy can put in his outfit from 30 years ago, and he still fits into it.
Yes. All right, stand up. Stand up, officer.
There you go.
All right.
It's me. That's not a costume. That's actually his uniform.
Back in the Roman army.
Yeah.
Mighty handsome there, John.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, I didn't know which one was a W1 or WW2, so.
Well, that's a little.
Yeah, we had that joke earlier, but I'm impressed, John, that you can fit into it. I can't fit into my clothes from last year, let alone. Well, I'm sorry, people. I think I set the tone for today's meeting. So.
Good.
Yeah, we'll see how this lasts, so I guess, Madam Clerk.
Okay, under resolutions, need a motion to approve the Job and Family Services bills for payment.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Investments?
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Appropriations?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Transfers?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Under advances and repayments, there is one repayment for $79,285 from CDBG back to the general fund.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Requisitions?
I move, but I have exceptions, or I need
Why don't we do that?
explanations.
Why don't we just not make a motion? We'll kind of go outside of order here, and why don't we just talk about the requisitions, since there's a lot I have to say too, or ask. I saw you made a lot of notes too.
Yeah, the first ones would be 16, 67, 68, and 77,
Yep.
which is another one. 67 and 68. Consulting services for Clemens and Nelson's. Those are exceptions for me.
Okay, you want to make those exceptions, which, okay. Then 77 you had on there?
And 77,
I think John put a note on there, and I read the note. I didn't, that's why I didn't sign this, the requisitions. Jim, are you aware? Because I noticed this is regards to the Common Pleas Micron Pentium Computers Client Program, $325. Micron Government, $21,850. What do you know about it?
there was no letter of explanation attached to this, so I mean, what's it for? What are we doing?
Well, I saw the purchase of some computers here, and they were signed off by our data person, so I just let it go through. I really don't know what the computers are for. It went through our process that we wanted. I'm comfortable with that
I
process.
see it. I was trying to find it, and I didn't see it. Thanks.
Did this go through data, through the data board?
Approved by data board.
And if you look on the front page,
It's on there.
you see Ernie's initial in the lower right corner.
I was trying to find this, so what did they do? They bought 12 computers.
12?
Yeah.
Well, what's with the old ones? Why are they buying 12 computers?
Commissioner, I can find out for you. I didn't inquire.
Well, I have a concern because like towards the end of the year, if there's money left over in budgets, it's like spend it or send it back to the general fund. And I get concerned when I see purchases like this. Is that one of those cases?
Commissioner, I can inquire as to why they're asking for this now. Some of these departments do wait to the end of the year because they're using their dollars on other purposes, and they see what they can capture at the end of the year, and they hold off on some purchases. I'm not sure if it's a raid on the money by any of the departments. They may have been waiting to see how much money they had left to buy some new equipment.
Well, that's what we need to know.
It says here that they rejected it because there wasn't sufficient funds in the account. Is that-
They did transfers, and they
that what
moved
they
it
were?
around. That was the initial.
October 3rd, they transferred funds?
Right.
Okay.
Well, we just need an explanation. Why is it needed?
I can certainly get that for you.
We can hold, I'll hold for that. That's on that page. 2 exceptions.
And then 85, 86, 87, and 88. The sheriff is here. Maybe he can explain the need for these.
Yeah, these are just numbers, but let's talk about what this is. 1685 is the miscellaneous radios for newly formed motorcycle unit. Vassy Communications, 3845. That's how much, 20 cents. 1686 was sheriff's uniforms for newly formed motorcycle unit, 2270, 970. Sheriff's weapons. And then a couple of computers here, too, for 1688. Those are the issues that we were questioning. Thanks for coming today, Sheriff.
Sure, and I can assure you that we're not making any raise on any kind of monies here. This money is in my budget, and as County Administrator Cortez stated, there are some things that we did wait on and not to purchase, and these are things that are needed. We've actually been working on this program for a year and a half. About forming a new bicycle unit and also a motorcycle unit. My chief deputy, Tim Mahar, and Captain Resendez have worked very hard on this thing. I did send something over in May of 2002, and I don't know if everybody read it or not, but it was to form the motorcycle unit. And all due respect to you, Commissioner Vacy, you always tell us to go out and explore avenues of getting grants. That's exactly what Sheriff Mahoney and now myself, Sheriff Stammitti, do. We've gotten traffic grants, no cost to the county that we've worked, and this is for the safety of the citizens of Lorain County, and I think we've worked those very well. Now, these bicycles and motorcycle units are going to work into that as a community policing aspect. That is what, we like to remain proactive, not just reactive when something happens. Once again, Lorain, Elyria, Amherst, and Avon already have these units in place, and they work very well. What we're getting here is a $20,000, two of them actually, two $20,000 Harley-Davidson motorcycles that we're going to get for $1,000 a year. And I think that is a substantial savings by not trying to go out and buy them. We're going to lease these. There is a one-time startup fee, obviously, because you have to have radios for the units, you have to have uniforms, you got to have helmets for the officers, and you do have to equip them. But what my officers do a lot of times is they volunteer a lot of their time, so that's no cost to the taxpayers. We formed an honor guard unit, which was at the Justice Center opening and also at the EMA opening. A lot of my officers are there on their own time, volunteering this time. Did I go out and purchase the blouses for them and the uniforms? Sure I did. It's not their job to get that stuff. It's my job as a sheriff to provide that type of equipment for them. But they came in and volunteered their time for this program, which I think is very good on their part. And this will enhance everybody's safety in Lorain County. The newly formed bicycle unit, just to get back to that also, we've already been out in neighborhoods. We're going to use those in our allotments of where the homes are at, such as Hidden Valley, Pheasant Run, out in ABC allotments, Eaton Estates. We were out there just Sunday patrolling for the trick-or-treaters. The township trustees had asked to have them out there. Captain Resendez had set it up, and we had them out there patrolling that area. The people and the trustees were very happy with that. Even one of my officers on a bicycle made a traffic stop. I mean, these bicycles are equipped with sirens and lights and everything. Not that I'm advocating that, we get bicycles and have everybody going out and pulling people over, but it is going to happen that way, and it did work down in Hidden Valley. Like I say, we want to remain with the advancement of technology, and I'm going to be up here again asking for other things, such as mobile data units for the police officers in the units where they can run checks for people right in the vehicles, like Elyria and Lorain are doing right now. But these are things that we have thought out. But by no means am I just sitting here trying to think of spending the taxpayers' money. What I want to do is, when I do spend it, I want to get the best dollar for the best bang for the buck, because all of us are taxpayers in this room. Once again, like I say, we have cut overtime in our department. We've cut in a lot of different programs, and we're looking to save money, too. I have money in my equipment account now. I'm not over here asking you to add extra money into my account so I can start these programs. These are things that I have money in my budget that I'm looking to spend. But by no way am I raiding the accounts or anything. So I know that was brought up, so I just wanted to kind of answer
Well, I'm
that.
just saying a lot of departments do this because we give them a budget, and then at the end of the year, if they don't use all their budget, it winds up that they'll find a way to spend the rest of that money rather than to return it to the general fund.
And I understand what you're
it's in
saying,
their
but
budget, too.
if I also remain frugal and don't spend it frivolously on everything at the beginning of the year, and I have a few dollars to buy the equipment that I've been waiting to buy, I think this is what the budgets are all
Okay,
about.
I have to ask you this. Does this mean by you creating these other, the motorcycle and the bicycle teams or whatever you're calling them, does that mean we have to have more deputies now?
No, and I'm not over here asking for any more deputies. I have the deputies to do this job, and once again, they're going to volunteer some of their own time without no cost to the taxpayers. They do it now, and they're going to continue to do it. They know if they get into these type of programs that that's something that's expected of them. You go above and beyond. So we're going to take existing staff. Actually, I have my chief deputy and one of my captains. They're going to be volunteers. And, we do a lot of service for the public. Parades, the fair, funeral escorts, and other things. So this is just going to fit right into everything that's been going. So this is another service to the public. But
How
no,
many
I'm not here asking you for more officers. No.
How many motorcycles?
2.
How many bicycles?
We got 2 of those also. And the county prosecutor actually was gracious enough to purchase the bikes for us.
Now, you're saying that you're not paying for the Harley Davidsons? You're actually are you leasing them, or are you just...
Through the local law enforcement block grant that we received in 2002, we are going to lease them to that program. And the good thing about the leasing program is the equipment that we do buy, like the radios and everything that's on them, once you go and you trade them in each year and they'll give you another new bike, they take all the equipment off of that bike and transfer it to the other one at no charge.
But then how long will the grant last? Will it stop at the end of a certain period and then the county
grant is
has
for
to
like
finish?
1 year.
For 1 year, and then the county has to pick up the
No, and
expense?
we apply, hopefully, that this grant's been going on, local law enforcement block grant's been going on since I can remember, and hopefully it'll keep going on. That's the money that we use to purchase these out.
Okay, so you're talking about purchasing the
Not
Harley
purchase, I
Davidson.
meant the lease.
Yeah, the leasing, okay. So every year you'd come back and like what you were saying earlier, then you'll be filling out grants
That's correct.
And getting the grant money to provide for the bikes.
And I don't know if my chief deputy or my captain wanted to add anything, or...
You're right, Commissioner. What we do, we purchased a lot of things on that local law enforcement grant. We purchased weapons a couple years ago. And on this one that I brought to the board for approval, we were allowed to get into the lease program, which a lot of your cities do now, but every year this local law enforcement block grant comes up, and we do come up before the board and ask for permission to apply for it, and then you have granted that. So we're trying to keep this Harley-Davidson program going through that.
Okay. Yeah, because sometimes I forget, because in communities you do have this already enforced. We do in my community where I live.
Right, Amherst has it, Lorain has it, Avon has it.
When I forget, I keep thinking that in the township rural areas, I keep forgetting that we do have subdivisions, like
Right.
Hidden Valley and other areas, and I keep forgetting that. I keep thinking about a bicycle going down a farm road or
Yeah.
something, and I keep forgetting.
No,
that
it's just
we do
for
have residential
allotments
developments
and
in
stuff
there,
like that,
and I
right.
think they need that. And the fact that you're going out and getting grants to offset the cost shows how hard you guys are watching the dollar. So what you're doing is you're taking the money that was budgeted from the equipment fund, right here. It's about $14,000 here to equip these, and you're taking that equipment money and purchasing these.
That's correct,
1, 2, 3,
Commissioner.
4 items for, well, let me finish, for
Go ahead.
the 2 Harley Davidsons and also for the bikes. From my understanding with the bikes, I thought the prosecutor's office purchased those.
He did purchase those. I just mentioned that as another program.
Oh,
But
okay.
obviously, we're going to have to equip those officers, so I'm going to be sending some requisitions over for some equipment for them.
Well, I thought that was already, because I saw that at the county fair, that Officer Rico was there.
Yes,
with
we've
it.
had 2 officers that already been trained for this, and another thing I think that Captain Resendez wanted to bring up was the training that we have for these guys. There's a school that you have to go for the bikes and the motorcycles. Cleveland PD around will put that training on for free to our officers.
Oh, okay.
Just one other thing I want to mention about some overtime costs where we're trying to save money is this year we instituted a plan where my officers make arrests. Sometimes 5 of them are assisting at a call. 5 of them might get subpoenaed to court. What we've done aggressively, Lieutenant Silver from my law enforcement division with Captain Resendez have come up with a program where if 5 officers get a subpoena, they go to court, they're on their own time, they get 3 hours of overtime. Now, what we've instituted is we call the courts and we call the prosecutor's office, and what we say is, do you really need all 5 of these officers today? And they'll say, no, we just need 2. So we find out which 2 handle it. The other 3, we tell them, you don't go to court that day. The 2 of you go. That way, we've cut overtime considerably that way. So we are being proactive in trying to cut funding. But to do your job as a police officer, you need equipment to do it. We're not sitting at desks and everything. My officers are out on the streets, meeting with people, doing their jobs. And these are equipment that are not frivolous stuff, are being bought at a whim. There's been a lot of thought put into this, and it's good for the community and it's good for the taxpayers, I can tell you that.
All right, what about the guns? You just said last year or 2 years ago we bought guns, and I see there's more guns on here. Guns don't go bad. They last forever, don't they?
Well, no,
I mean, they don't get that much use.
They
I
don't
hope
last
not.
forever, and some of them that older guns that you trade with new technology, you get newer guns, because it's like a computer, I guess. Like you say, today you buy a computer, tomorrow it's outdated. And, you can use it so long, I guess, as long as you can, just like with vehicles. I'm going to be up here about vehicles again. I got vehicles that are still 1995. And I think if I'm using vehicles for 7 years, we're doing pretty good out of there to get them for 7 years. So these are just the price of doing business and the price of justice. And I think we're spending the money well.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions? That's on that. How about, let's see if I had something else. Let me see if I had. I don't have a problem with that. With the sheriffs. That was all that. And you're looking at, we're going to hold 1677. And tell you what, I'll make a motion to approve requisitions withholding 1677. Let me see. That's my motion.
I'll second.
Any more discussion?
You need to make your exceptions, I think.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye, with the exception of 1667 and 68.
Commissioners, last week we had a question on a purchase on hazmat equipment. We'll have it resubmitted next week, but I wanted to clarify, since we had quite a discussion on it, that equipment was coming out of grant money, was hazmat money for the purchase of that equipment, so we'll be resubmitting that purchase. We went back and researched it, and as I suspected, we had grant money to buy that stuff.
What is it for?
John, you want to explain this, please?
Well, I think that was those uniforms for like spills and everything, but I think what the issue was, it was general fund money that they told us last week. That's what John said, right?
It's a grant, but it'll be used for different communities.
The confusion was it was grant, which normally is not in the general fund, but it was in the general fund.
Right.
And we're going to take that out. But I think the bottom line is what Mr. Cortez said. It is coming out of grant money.
So it is coming out of grant money?
Yes.
But I mean, it's not just for our hazmat, it's for the different communities
Right.
also.
Yes, Commissioner.
Correct.
We weren't able to nail it down to get it resubmitted, but just for clarification purposes, because we left it hanging last week, I just wanted to give you an update on that.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, travel expenses?
So moved. Second. It doesn't, it's the twins.
In harmony.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Approving bills for payment?
So moved.
Second?
Discussion? Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Authorize various personal actions as indicated in the summary for employees within the jurisdiction of Lorain County Commissioners.
There was a blank sheet, I thought.
That was,
No action today.
Thank you.
No? Okay. Okay. Under Children's Services, item number 10, we need to award a contract to Jack Mattia Chevrolet Incorporated of Elyria, Ohio, for a 3-year lease for 10 new mid-size automobiles and for 8 new mid-size 7-passenger vans for the Children's Services Department. The lease is in the amount of $236,718, which was the lowest and most responsive bid received, complying with specifications. Dr. Crow, the Executive Director of Children's Services, has reviewed and recommends approval.
Hey, Jim, you want to say something?
Not particularly, but I will.
Okay.
A few years back, Children's Services decided to move away from the actual purchase of vehicles and into lease vehicles because of the heavy use that their vehicles receive. This is a renewal of that process.
When you say heavy use, define that. Are you talking mileage?
Well, mileage, and their vehicles are normally constantly in service during the day, and they rotate between social workers and the transportation of children and people receiving services.
Yeah, but if you're talking mileage, then a lease is the worst way to go unless they got I mean, do we have a history of what they're... I mean, John's nodding his head. Are you familiar with this, John?
No, I had the same thought you did about the mileage
Yeah,
issue.
I mean, we could have... I don't know. Go on, Jim. I didn't mean to
Dan,
interrupt
did
you.
you want to say anything? I know you're on the board.
Oh, Dan's like...
Once again, they felt it was more economically feasible, rather than maintaining a fleet of vehicles, to lease their vehicles and then periodically renew the lease and turn them back in.
Periodically, it says 3 years.
There is a tertiary benefit. These leases are from a local business. They're not coming off of a state term list from a dealership down in Cincinnati or Columbus. So they at least are keeping the business here in Lorain County, and it's proven to be, from their perspective, it's proven to be economically efficient to do it this way. I don't have a lot more specific data on that, Commissioner. They seem to be successful at this. This will be the second time they've leased, right, Dan?
They leased it last time? Or did they do leases?
Right. And your question was that
On the mileage?
on the mileage,
Yeah.
we kind of watch the mileage and rotate the cars
Mhm.
so they don't go above the mileage, although some of them have, but minimal.
Okay.
How much would that be for each vehicle? John, have you calculated?
No, I didn't bring them. Let's see, 10 new mid-size auto, 8
Commissioner,
would
if you
be...
figure that it normally cost us I want to say about $20,000. You want about $20,000 for a vehicle when it's all said and done off a state term. So if you took, and on average, and the passenger vans obviously are more, but that's 15 if we were buying them on state term.
It's 22,600.
Right. So I think that cost-wise,
There's a breakdown?
they're fairly comparable. But remembering, these vehicles will be relatively new, they'll be under warranty, they won't come out of warranty, any of the repair work is done by the dealership, so they don't have the any downstream maintenance costs on these vehicles.
I've leased cars, and I've gone over my mileage just going to Elyria and back with my kids. And I have 32,000 in it, and I got a 3-year lease, and there's no way, I'm going to be way over. I'm not driving 24/7 or 5 days a week with this. Thanks. So, you already have a history of this, Dan? I know, I hate to do this to you, Dan, because you're on the board, but...
We have the witch coming
there you go.
forward, and I believe she has some answers to these questions.
God, this is just tough to take people seriously.
And they're trying to lease vehicles, not brooms. There you go.
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry, what were your questions?
Just cast a spell on us, okay? You have a history, your name again is?
Brenda Alexander,
From Children's?
Children's Services.
Welcome, Brenda.
Thank you.
Now, you guys already went through this program once, or
This will be our third time.
the third time? Now, did you have, they're all 3-year leases?
Yes, sir.
So this is your 9th year, or did you guys just start doing this every year, and they're all, like, is this like a churning event of cars?
This is every 3 years.
Okay, so this is your third attempt.
This is our third time with every 3 years, yes.
And when you did this, did you have we been under the amount that the requisition, or when we passed the resolution for this, did you have to come back and ask for more money to pay for the overages on the mileage, or no?
We didn't come back and ask for more money to pay for the overage.
Okay, so if you've done it
but-
twice, you haven't, okay. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Correct, but we have been over, not by a lot, but we have been over. Part of my job is to watch the mileage on each vehicle, and we rotate it. We've implemented a special computerized program that when somebody makes a reservation, it pulls up the vehicle with the least amount of miles on it so that we be sure that it evens out a little bit. And then if we see that one is getting close or over, then we might switch that vehicle from, we have a pool of vehicles and we have a few that are assigned to case aides, and we might switch that vehicle from the pool to a case aide who is using their vehicle less. So we try and watch the miles and we even it out. This year we've asked for an additional vehicle to help with that, with the overage on the miles.
Okay. No, thanks. It sounds okay. That's and when I first looked at it, I thought, well, it sounds like you guys have a history, and I've never seen anybody that on top of it with a computerized system on mileage. So it sounds like you are watching the dollars there. So I appreciate you answering the question.
And with a witch's hat.
Well, I'm surprised it's not red. I'm sorry. I thought I was thinking that. I'm sorry. Thank you so much for taking the abuse today. Okay, so this looks good. Then I mean, because the way it was set up here, just you wonder if people are just spending it. But obviously, it looks like Children's Services is on top of their vehicles. So I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Support.
Any more discussion? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Under Commissioners, number 11, to authorize payment of 24.25 hours of compensatory time for Alan Wack, bailiff, City of Elyria Municipal Court, in the amount of $214.18 for the year 2002. This amount does reflect the county's 2/5 share.
Also move.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Number 12, we need to accept proposals and enter into professional engineering services agreement between the Board of Commissioners and K.E. McCartney and Associates Incorporated for the following. The first for Callahan Drive Sanitary Sewer Extension in a total amount not to exceed $54,295, and B for Rolling Heights Allotment Sanitary Sewers in a total amount not to exceed $90,400.
So move. I'll second.
Discussion?
I would like to hear some feedback from Mr. Cortez.
Commissioners, these are some projects that the board has discussed off and on over the last few months. The one in the Rolling Heights subdivision is by petition, and Mr. Carney, see if you have any deeper questions, but that project's moving along nicely. We have the certifications of the petitions, and we also have the agreement to accept flow. And this project matures to the point where we're installing sewers. Obviously, there has to be a lot more work done to get to that point. The one in Callan Drive is not by petition, but there is some old history here with the health department citing the area as a safety hazard. And I had an opportunity to be out with some folks from Mr. Carney's office and the city of Elyria and some of the health department officials, and we have a real serious problem in the ditch there that flows behind these folks' home, where there's a lot of loading of the ditch with some solid waste. And this issue was dropped several years ago, and I'm not completely sure why, but clearly we need to resolve that problem, and we need to reinvigorate that process to alleviate that health condition, recognizing that you'll probably have some angry people, because this is going to be, I guess, for lack of another term, a forced sewer project.
We have angry people coming up talking about septic filing in their backyards too. So
I just feel compelled to make you aware of the position that we're going to be putting ourselves in. On one side of the ditch is Elyria residents complaining to Elyria that the ditch is full of sewage. On the other side is township residents that for various reasons are not acknowledging that the ditch is full of sewage. And this has been an on-again, off-again problem for over 10 years, Mr. Carney. In fact, I have correspondence that goes back to the 70s where it's been brought up and down.
You want to say anything, Ken? Do you have any questions for Ken?
I have two questions. Number one, you did say the health district was involved with the Callan Drive?
Yes.
Okay. And my second question is, there are 3 proposals in this file, and the third one is for the Grafton Road Southwood.
I am sorry, Commissioner. I dropped the Southwood proposal from the agenda because I have the data on it. The project may need to be expanded a bit. That project is somewhat taking a back burner on my agenda because it doesn't fit the criteria of what the posture of the county's been. That posture being to work on sewer projects by petition, or sewer projects where there's a health condition or a health hazard. I will bring you back that information for your consumption, but I was putting priority on the ones that we either A, have been asked to do, or B, have to do. So you may receive more information on that, and if you'd like, that'll be at your point. You can agenda that as you see fit, but I'm asking for these 2 sewer projects here because they fit the posture.
My question was because this was in the folder.
We pulled it. It wasn't originally on the agenda, and I asked for it to be removed.
I'd like some more information on it.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Carney, can you give us more information on that one?
Yes.
Okay.
Not now, though?
He was trying to avoid coming up here. So.
Where is your broom today?
I'm sorry again?
I said, where is your broom today?
I've got 4 jokes.
I know.
Yes, that information is more than happy to be given to you within the next 7 days. Jim and I are working extensively. I've been working with John Hart. We've got some interest in the area by other people. That'll surface soon, and we're ready to go.
What about the resolution I handed off to you, Jim, a while back regarding the septic tanks? I mean, can't we design it, because I know it's not in there, but can't we design it to help out with this type of stuff, where the health district is saying that it's, instead of forcing sewers, because if we use this revolving loan fund properly, we can help probably offset some of these costs if we do it properly, right?
Yes, and the meetings are set up to have those discussions and start that process.
Who's involved in those meetings?
It'll be the Sanitary Engineers Department, it'll be the Health Department, the Commissioners Department, and the Community Development Department.
And the auditor?
And the auditor, excuse me, yes. There's a lot of work to do before you're going to see the actual construction.
But you made a statement in the beginning saying you don't know where the board stands.
Stands on what, Commissioner?
Regarding health issues being forced. I mean, I thought that's kind of
What I wanted to do was inform you of why I presented these projects to you, that they met the normal posture of the county. You have a health hazard. We try to deal with the health hazards when those declarations are made. And also, we've always tried to do sewer projects where there's been a successful petition for installation of sewers. So you have both of these projects. One is a health hazard, which is the Callan Drive issue, and one is by successful petition, which is in Sheffield Township on the Roland Heights subdivision.
That is Sheffield Township, then?
Yes.
This is the one that we've been working on for several months, then? Okay.
So what were you referring to? You don't know where the board stands.
I'm not sure how I phrased that, Commissioner.
That's how you phrased that.
I apologize.
As if you were like misguided or misinformed, then maybe we should help you.
Well, what I may have spoke to that on the Southwood one. That's going to be something that's going to be not atypical for the past posture with regard to sewer projects.
Okay, then that's fine if that's what you're referring to.
Right.
Okay.
Right, and that would be, that would be up to the boards. I will be requesting that at this point, right, until you have a chance to look at that and decide how you want to respond. I don't believe that we've done many sewer projects in past in this county where there was no petition and we didn't have a declaration of a health hazard. And that's what I was speaking to.
Okay, thank you.
And that's the Southwood Drive one?
That would be the Southwood Drive one, yes.
Okay. And there is the health district has determined that the Callan Drive is a health
Quite some time ago, Commissioner, and I have the books here. I have the agreements for where the flow is going to go. I have all the paperwork from the cities, and Mr. Junior's done a fine job making sure that we kept all our paperwork ready to go. There's going to be no issue of where the flow is going should the project progress. Everything is on track and in line, and I'm recommending we go forward with these projects.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
One last thing, the cost will be recoverable downstream when the installation goes in. So while clearly this is more of an advance of funds, it'll come back to the general fund, and Mr. Rokasy will start accounting for these costs in separate accounting so that we recover these costs.
Yeah, but how are we going to recover them? In the sanitary sewer fund, or or the general fund, or? When we go to construction, we'll do a construction note. When the construction is done, we will do a bond to pay for all the costs. That bond will be a revenue bond, which it'll be recovered to assessments. It could be assessments and user fees. Those are things you can decide at a future date how you want to recover the cost, but the cost is going eventually to be borne by the users along the system, the property owners. Okay. Thank you.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Under Community Development Department, number 13, I'd like to authorize an extension of time to complete the Grafton-Belden School Elevator, a CDBG-funded project for fiscal year 2001. The contract was awarded to R.A. Joseph Construction in the amount of $119,700. R.A. Joseph has requested additional time to complete this project due to the late arrival of the elevator. The grant extension is for an additional 30 working days to Monday, December 16th.
Should be 2002.
Excuse me, right, sorry. The Community Development Department has reviewed and recommends approval.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Under Solid Waste Management District, number 14, need to approve the distribution of the Lorain County Solid Waste Management District 2003 community grant applications in the amount of $1,472,203.20. These requests have increased due to the rise in the census figures. All of the communities did apply for funding for 2003, with the exception of the village of South Amherst and Camden Township. However, the county can still meet the stipulations set by the Ohio EPA to offer recycling opportunities to over 95% of county population.
So moved.
I'll second.
Discussion? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Under number 15, we need to authorize the purchase of playground equipment with recycled materials for Rochester Township in the amount of $21,465.04. Mayor Richardson of Rochester Village requested information regarding recycled content of materials, and they do meet the criteria for recycled materials. This is a good project for the southern part of the county, as it would benefit Rochester Village, Rochester, Brighton, and Huntington Townships. This project will cost $42,930.08, and Rochester Village would contribute a 50% match. The amount for the project will come from the plan implementation funds, and the grant amount will be $21,465.04. The Solid Waste Management District Director has reviewed and recommends approval.
So moved.
I'll second.
I
Discussion?
believe Mayor Richardson is here today. Like to make a statement, or
Thank you.
just...
I'm dressed as a pregnant woman today.
Oh, wow.
And I hate to be rude, but I have to pick my boy up from Fishville Preschool in an hour, so I have to leave.
Oh, no, that's fine. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Also under solid waste, item number 16, we to authorize the purchase of recycled materials
It's all red.
to construct a pavilion with storage areas and 8 recycled picnic tables, 4 waste receptacles, 2 parking stops, and signage printed on recycled plastic materials for Carlisle Township in the amount of $24,099.47. Carlisle Township had requested information regarding the purchase of recycled materials. The Solid Waste Management Director has reviewed and recommends approval. Carlisle Township is requesting $24,099.47. Their match is calculated as $16,000 for labor and $8,735.02 for materials, for a total of $24,735.02, to give them a match of over 50% funding. The total cost of this project is $48,834.49. Funding for the project would come out of the plan implementation funds.
Also move, Mr. Chairman.
I'll second.
Discussion?
Ms. Jacobs, would you like to make a comment or regarding this project?
Linda Jacobs, Carlisle Township. I just first of all want to thank the commissioners and also thank Mr. Billman, who was very instrumental in trying to locate companies that have recycled products. And we think this pavilion would be very unique to the area. It'll be the first one with probably 80% recycled materials. And we don't want to thank you.
Thanks, Linda.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
The Lorain County Engineer, number 17, let to advertise for bids for the Henderson Drive reconstruction embankment. Engineer's estimate of cost, $1,258,666. This project will correct the slipping embankment and is being funded with 80% federal funds and 20% Ohio Public Works funds. The engineer has chosen to use the LPA process. Using this process, the county bids and inspects the construction. This project must be advertised for 3 weeks since it is federally funded, and as part of this project, the county must have some work done by Ohio Edison on their transmission poles on private easement at a cost of $38,000. The engineer is requesting Ohio Edison to reset 3 street lights during construction at a cost of $4,983.50. To authorize payments of these invoices from the bond fund. Bids will be received until 2 p.m. on November 26, 2002. I'd like to publish the notice in the Chronicle Telegram and Morning Journal on November 5th, 12th, and 19th, 2002.
Also move.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Under the engineers, number 18, we need to amend resolution number 02-811 that was adopted October 24th, 2002, awarding a contract for the Nickel Plate Diagonal Road retaining wall project to R&I Construction Company. This amendment is to reflect a change in their start date from November 1st, 2002 to March 1st, 2003. A total of $29,000 will be added to the contract price, bringing the new contract total to $348,830.15. This increase in contract is still a significant amount less than the second lowest bidder. The county engineer and prosecutor's office has reviewed and recommends approval.
So move.
Second.
Discussion?
I'd like to ask Mr. Carney to expand a little bit on this.
Yes, Commissioner.
Well, it says due to the change in start date, a total of $29,000 will be added. Can you elaborate on that?
He was the apparent low bidder, but chose to start construction early, November. If that was the case, we would have had that road closed and not repaired to the standard I would require for the entire winter. Safety alone was our our major concern. The asphalt plants are not open at that time. It wasn't a good choice. We checked with all the other contractors. They had no objection. This is still $25,000 less than the second low bidder, and it's a lot less than the estimated engineer's estimate. It is funded by 80% Fed and 20% state. So there's no additional cost to the county and no additional cost to motor vehicle gas tax funds. Mostly a safety item. Everyone agrees to it. The contractors, agreed to it. With your approval today, we can have this locked in and started at a normal time, which would have been March. All other contractors bid March, except this one particular person.
Thank you. And Mr. Ennis, you've reviewed this?
Yes, I have.
And it's appropriate?
Right, because as Mr. Carney indicates, it still would be the low bid, and we didn't specify in our bid specs that we wanted it to be in March, so this one contractor had actually had a bigger discount, thinking he was going to start in November, and as indicated by the engineer, we don't want them to do that. So even adding this on, it is far below what the next bidder was.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Number 19, right to accept the improvements and enter into a one-year maintenance agreement for Hillside Subdivision Number 9, Amherst Township, Edward J. and Wanda Lee Gargas developer. Hillside Number 9 contains 19 lots. The concrete pavement and storm sewers were installed and approved by the Lorain County engineer. The water mains and sanitary sewers were installed and approved by the City of Lorain, and inspection fees have been paid to the county engineer. A letter of credit for $25,000 has been issued by Lorain National Bank. The county accepts on behalf of Amherst Township the following roads. The first one is Cottontail Court with a road number T-267 extending east 126.05 feet or 0.024 miles in length from Stone Valley Drive to the center of a cul-de-sac. And Stone Valley Drive with a road number of T-226 extending northerly from the north line of Hillside Number 8, 1,064.82 feet or 0.202 miles in length to the south line of Hidden Valley Subdivision Number 12. Also included in this resolution is the approval to release the maintenance bond for Hillside Number 8. The Amherst Township trustees have been notified and indicated their acceptance.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Reports, comments, Mr. Cortez, Administrator?
Well, Commissioners, I think everybody sees the work going on in our building across the street. Unfortunately, we discovered some hidden damage under the concrete on the building, and we need a change order to continue to work. I'm going to pass this to you. I only received this today. The work is in progress. The change order request is for approximately $23,000. I have some photos that were provided to me today. With the additional request on these funds for the change order is still well underneath the engineer's estimate that we received for the original work. Some of this work could not be readily seen until they chipped back some of the concrete. In particular, we had one corner. Ron, you may want to come to the podium and tag team this issue with me. They had to break out the concrete before they can see. We had a drainage problem on the one corner. Clearly, it's a large change order, but once this is done, the concrete will be sealed and painted, and we won't have to revisit this issue again. It could have been much worse, but then again, it could have been much better. So,
well, how do we know the rebar? Is it just this one here where the rebar is rusted,
yes.
Or how do we know they're going to work and do some more? Or
they already got the building taken down to where it needs to be.
So the whole building's taken down where it has to be
Yes.
to repair it now.
Yes.
And so it's stripped down, and now they say, okay, we have to fix the rebar here, here, and here.
And they have architects on staff for their company, and they've looked at the horizontal, I'm going to describe them as horizontal cracks in those photographs, and they are reasonably sure that those rebars have had moisture and probably some rusting problems, and the best way and most economical to correct those is to actually inject epoxy between the existing concrete and the rebar that's back in there. So the horizontal cracks, you're seeing the injection of the epoxy to adhere that, and that will correct that. The cracks will not reoccur on a horizontal structure. That's about $4,907. In the original proposal, we had, I believe it was about 500 or 525 square feet of work that they knew and anticipated at a minimum would have to be removed from that structure. Other contractors felt that that number was considerably higher. If you remember, we had 5 bidders on that. They ranged from the lowest, which is the contract we took at $31,505, to the highest bidder at $60,100. If you look at this change order and the original bid, our original estimate of the work was $58,200. We are now, I believe, with this change order, if it's approved, at $54,522. We now know that we have stripped that structure to everything that needs to be stripped so that the repairs can be made, and we've lengthened the life of this structure to at least a 30-year.
Yeah, what about the other bids? Didn't we have some local contractors in on this one?
We had Burge Builders, and they were at $37,000. Again, they had indicated that they were $37,735.20. They had a limit, and to be honest with you, I don't remember what the amount of square footage that they had, but I feel comfortable that they would have had to have asked for a change order as well.
The increase would have been based on the 526 square feet. Is that what you're saying?
I think that their proposal was more like 700 square feet that they thought, but we are in excess of that, the work that had to be repaired. So even their proposal would have had a change order for additional unforeseen repair work in the square footage column.
And Jerry, you reviewed this?
No, I just received the issue this morning, Commissioner. With regard to review on at what level, I don't understand the question.
Well, we reviewed Ken Carney's his contract.
Well, I think
bid process.
I think Ken's was a little bit different. This is a change order during a process. That was a change before the work began. So I think there is a distinction between those two.
Right. I got this early because we knew right in the bidding process there was a question.
So what's the total project cost? $54,522?
Yes.
Which takes the total cost to what? 300 and some, doesn't it?
I don't remember.
Nor do I, Commissioner.
Okay. Okay. So what are you looking for, a motion to... Looks like they're already doing the work.
Well, we can either leave the columns the way they look in those pictures.
Or the way they look out there, it's terrible.
Or we can do the change order and go ahead and finish the work on the building.
Okay, well, it just adds another $4.60 to the square foot, where I said it was $56, so now we're about 60 to 61 bucks a square foot.
I need to point out, Mr. Ennis said, I want to state that this is the Economic Development Building, not the...
Yeah, you said Justice Center, and I'm thinking...
Yeah, that's why
so I apologize for that.
I'll move to support.
I'll second.
Any more discussion? Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
At the conclusion of the meeting, we have a walkthrough scheduled for the Justice Center to make a visit over there and see the work in progress. And also would like to conclude with this is our last meeting before Election Day on Tuesday. I encourage all voters to come out and cast their vote, and I do request that they support the E911 levy. It's a necessary service. It's fully funded by that levy, so please come out and show your support. That concludes my remarks. Thank you.
Okay, Assistant County Prosecutor, Mr. Ennis.
Just like to request an executive session regarding pending litigation with commissioners, should that be realized.
Commissioners report.
I have
Commissioner
nothing
Bessie?
today.
Commissioner Blair?
I have one item, Mr. Chairman. The Lorain County Economic and Industrial Development Corporation met this morning and reviewed Catholic Health Care Partners' $330 million hospital revenue bond. The CIC made a motion to approve the application. The Board of Commissioners will take action following the public hearing, which is scheduled the week of November the 18th. That's for information purposes. That's all I have.
Thank you. Again, I'd like to concur with what Mr. Cortez said regarding the 911 levy. It's very important for this county. A lot of good does come out of this organization, and I want everyone to know, at least, if you're going to, I will be supporting it. And again, November 5th is Election Day. If everybody could go out and cast their vote, a lot can happen. That's all I have to say on that, but there will be more to come.
Any old business?
None.
I have none.
None.
New business?
I have none.
None. None.
None here.
Board of Correspondence?
I move the reading be waived.
Second.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Public comment.
Anybody have anything to add for public comment? Please come to the table, or please come to the podium. Ken, you have been up here enough?
Well, it seems to be a bit of a Kish program here. I thought I'd sneak in early. Get back to work. I didn't want to wait for the opening of the coat, but I'm too busy outside. Two items. I did want to remind the commissioners that we do have a groundbreaking at 1 p.m. this afternoon in Colorado Avenue, and the location is between the Spitzer's Auto World and the new post office on Colorado Avenue. It's been relocated to that spot. So that's at 1 p.m. this afternoon. And then secondly, I didn't get a chance to expound on this one particular project, which is nearby, which is the Henderson Embankment project. It's pretty big. It's 1.2 million plus. We've been working on that for quite a long time. We're very proud of it. And mostly we're proud of the fact, quite frankly, is it doesn't cost us a dime. It's 80% Fed, 20% state, and you're going to see a lot of those projects coming out of our office soon. And they're all going to be kind of similar to that. So just thought I'd put my nickel in there.
And is that because you've got that wonderful bond fund that you can do the plans?
Yes, that's great seed money. Thank you.
Right.
Yeah. That $2 million bond is probably going to get us about $20 million worth of roads.
Way to go, Ken. Thanks.
If you got two more, I'll be more than happy to stop by and pick some up.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it. We'll just cut your budget in half. We'll have some more money. Just little humor there, Ken. Sorry. Grab his chest real quick. Bob, do you have something to add to that? Or?
Yeah, well, my name is Robert Kish, a.k.a. the Great Pumpkin.
Remember, 3 minutes.
Oh, my goodness. The light still lights. Just trying to keep the flame of liberty alive. Not going to stand. Anyway, what I have to say is what I said last week. But I want people to vote in this county. It's very scary to think that out of over 250,000 people, less than 9% have voted. And that's not right to the veterans that died for this country. Veterans Day is coming up. We have a veteran amongst us today. We have two. Counting me, there's at least 3. Any other in the audience? 4. Very good. Very good. What outfit? Navy. Navy. 2 Navy guys. I'm not...
Al raised his hand too.
Hell?
Elvis was in the Army.
Okay. Elvis is in the Army? Anyhow, I have a quote here. These are times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country. Thomas Paine, back in the 1700s. You've heard of him. Then I was presented this book by Miss Vacy. I am one people. You are each one people. You each get one vote if you're registered. We, the people of Lorain County, in order to have a more perfect union, should vote. How are our voices to be known if we do not vote? Get out there and vote. Now is the time for all good men and women to go to the voting booth and vote. All that is needed for evil to triumph is for good men and women to not vote. Freedom is not free. People have died in their country for freedom in this country. Without citizen participation, the mice will play when the cat's away. The audience that watches these meetings is minuscule. Do you not care how your tax dollars are spent? Participate in the right to vote before you lose it. Don't lose by default. I was the only person in attendance at one of these public meetings. Today we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 besides me. Out of, okay, only 9% voted in the last election. The cat played while I was away on May the 30th. I had an excuse, a legitimate excuse. I died. 30 is a very important number in my life. 30 in newspaper journalism means the end of the story. May 30th was the end of me for 10 minutes. I died, but they bought me back. Thank goodness, I guess, or thank badness, depending. I was a very fast controller. I slowed down and had to retire. I went all the way to complete stop. I came back, I guess you could call me half-fast. I'm not the man I used to be. This meeting, I found a baby on August the 30th in 1991. 30 again in 1991. It lives, I'm not allowed to know anything about it. It was abandoned in my woodlot, and he survived. May 30, I died, I survived. But where was I during my 10 minutes that I wasn't with myself, evidently? Now comes Halloween. Now it gets spooky, really spooky.
Thanks, Bob.
I have a video. I was at this podium, according to the VHS video that I got finally, the May 30th video. I was speaking at this podium.
Yes.
Oh,
but you're trying to double
well,
up
maybe that's where you were, Bob.
Say again?
Maybe that's where you were.
I was. I evidently was. Where's Clay? This is spooky.
I'll tell you what, Bob.
Yeah.
What we're going to do, what are you going to do? Just play a video?
I wanted to play a video that showed me standing at this speaker and saying, my name is Robert Kish.
Okay, but...
It is not me.
Okay, but I tell you
it's
what.
It's on that video.
Okay, well, we can watch it because your 3 minutes is up. I want to make sure if somebody else, I don't want you cutting in. Is anybody else, because we do have another appointment. Anybody else wish to publicly speak? Because if not, I'd like to see it, but we're going to do something here. I think I'd like to have you participate in. Okay? And then afterwards, can we watch the video with you?
Okay.
Okay, why don't we do that? Any more public comment?
But keep the flame alight.
No, you just, we'll talk some more. If there isn't any more public comment, we do have to move into executive session, which we're going to wait a few minutes to do. Then we're going to close the board meeting, so pretty much I'm trying to save some money for our cameraman. So I guess we're just going to adjourn right now.
Well, why don't we move to go into executive session, and then we will be adjourned.
Well...
No?
Yeah, we can do that.
Can we recess?
Yeah, we're going to...
Just want to recess?
Yeah, we'll move to... I'll tell you what. I'll make a motion to go into executive session.
And I'll second.
Mr. Moore?
Aye.
Mrs. Blair?
Aye.
Mrs. Vacy?
Aye.
Okay.